Today is March 26, 2022. This is episode 187 of Maelstrom Radio. Maelstrom Radio. With your hosts, Gladys and Shitter. And welcome everybody back to Maelstrom Radio. My name is Peter. With me, as always, is my good friend and co-host Quinton. Saturday, friend.
It is Saturday. Good morning.
And we
had good afternoon for you. It's later.
It's afternoon, but we had a long night with our community.
Yes, we had a very long. We did a double stream last night with Crab Game.
Yeah, we doubled up the crabs last night, and
found the giant one too.
Yeah, we found Tantan.
Check it out though.
Last night we had our community game night because we're doing a Saturday episode, and like we do once a month, and it was fun. We had some laughs. We did some things. We made a new friend who's currently in our chat. Shrimp games. But also with us, internet working. Shantyman from Shantymangaming. Hi.
Welcome.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Welcome.
I am glad you can finally make it.
Yes.
Yes. So am I. Being without internet is the worst.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, it is. It's really bad. And I've been there before. Quentin can let you know. Like we've had a show to do, and I'm like my internet's bad. It's not good.
Was that the episode?
No, that was when I lived in Florida and my neighbor had cut the internet line when they were doing yard work.
Oh, I do remember that vaguely.
And they tucked the cable away in their bushes, so they couldn't Comcast couldn't figure out what was going on. Because they're like, "Where's the line? Should be here."
Just hide it away. They
did. They really the guy's like, yeah. They came up with a broken piece of wire, and he's like, yeah, they buried this in their bush so that hopefully nobody would see it.
Yeah.
So they got it.
Yeah. In my case, it was the tech accidentally cutting our line when they were installing somebody else. So that was fun.
Also Comcast, by any
chance? Actually AT&T.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we didn't.
It's like one of the three places that you can actually get internet for here.
I don't even pay for internet. My apartment's touching the library, so I just have an Ethernet cable that's giving me access to their Google Fiber. That's one way to stick it to the man.
Yeah.
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 So what have you been up to this week, Peter?
Well, let's see. We have a new fan. It's
you forgot.
What did I forget?
You forgot that it's been what you've done this week?
No. It's been a week. It's just been a busy, crazy, hectic week. So we got a new mint green fan, and we're excited because it's replacing a really not great chandelier or light fixture that we have in our kitchen. It's like fake gaudy, it's just it looks like it's made of bronze. It's not a good lighting fixture. It looks very old or very tacky. It kind of looks like it could be in place at a family style sit down old Italian restaurant that's been there.
I was thinking the old 50s diner type aesthetic, but I understand what you mean by old Italian.
Yeah, it's it's a place where they've made the same meatball parm there for 20 years and they ain't changing until someone dies. So it's like that, and we don't like it. So we've acquired a mint green fan that will help with cooling during the summer months, because it's really going to be cooling off a large space. So we're just waiting on our electrician to message us back to let us know how much it's going to cost to do the wiring and set it up. So that's it.
Unfortunately, you'll never be able to show it on stream because it'll just get disappeared.
It's true. I mean, we'll take a picture of it and put it on our Discord. But let's see. Also, cat update. Ash has pink eye. We're not sure how he acquired pink eye, but he has it. So
yeah, poor Ash.
Oh, he's fine. He's okay. He's pretty good about taking the drops. Other than that, we did a little ladies' day on Monday with Susan. That was fun. Tiny crowns. Thursday we played Wingspan. You won this time.
Yeah, that was very calm. I did win this time.
I've yet to win a game of Wingspan.
We've played 2 games.
I've played 3 now, and I've still yet to win a game. And that game, I've always come in somehow second. Like every time, it's like, oh, I'm second. That's it. I can only just achieve second place in Wingspan, which is fine.
I was super sneaky. I did all of the hidden stacking stuff underneath, so no one could see what I was doing.
Yeah.
And then just boom, win at the end.
Yep. And and we did a crab game yesterday. We crabbed.
Crab game.
Yeah.
We did a lot of crab game. We had 4 hours of crab game.
Yeah.
Somehow we did not go wild after we listened to that music for 4 hours. It worked. We crabbed.
Although the music's not. I don't know, the intro music is pretty bad. Like
the intro music is pretty
that high pitch, like I don't like it. So
and then the whole red light green light thing with that face.
Oh, red light.
Yeah,
green light. I'm pretty sure that's the creator of the game. I think that's their face.
Hey, Farthest Goose.
Hey, Farthest Goose. So what did you do this week? I mean, other than like crab game and
oh yeah. So aside from so it was Spooky Cast. Aside from the stuff that we talked about, the Wingspan and crab game stuff, Chili thinks the face looked like a YouTuber you watch. Maybe he made crab game. No, on Sunday or last Sunday, I also did my regular streams. We're gonna see if we continue those streams tomorrow. They're going to become an official thing. We'll put them on the schedule. Everything will be good. We had a lovely morning Stardew Valley stream, which was really kind of chill. We're continuing with the coffee casts and chill. All right, coffee casts and chat. There's too many C words that just fit into that, and I just can't make a really long acronym. That would be too much.
Coffee, cast,
chill cozy. Coffee cast and chat.
Yeah, cozy casting with coffee while chatting.
I don't know. See, that sounds a lot different.
What?
Cozy casting. If you put casting.
Oh, cozy cast.
Yeah, cozy. Wait.
Cozy casting sounds like a chilled out casting experience.
Yeah, but whole different thing. Anyways, we could also add cats. I have Alfie sitting next to me.
Different couch.
While sleeping. Yeah. Peter. Cass having a talk. Chat for short. Oh jeez. Yeah, we could also put cast cast the person. They could be in the we have so many C words. Anyways, coffee casts and chat. Current title works well. So we did we moved to Stardew as the main game for that. I think we're going to continue that going forward. We're going to either convert my existing game into I think what we'll do is convert my existing game into a multiplayer if we have people that want to jump in. So right now, because I don't have anything modded or anything, it's just a straight up. I can have up to 3 other people in the game. So if someone is wanting to join in on that and get a dedicated house, then we can chat about that on Discord. I'm not just going to take the first random people that come in because I want people that might actually be there quite often. But yeah, we'll see. So that was pretty good with Stardew. And then in the afternoon, we did another little bit longer Zelda Skyward Sword stream, which went fairly well. We got, what did we do? Oh, that was the first Zelda, the Skyward Sword stream. So we did basically all the tutorial. We rescued my bird. We wondered what was going on with these people. We went and saw some pumpkin soup, broke a chandelier, and then tried to go get only VIPs in the Stardew game. Yes. And then we went and got to jump through the clouds, and then we went and Everyone's talking about the Stardew. I got to the first temple, so I am now in the first temple. So starting tomorrow, hopefully, we'll go through that first temple and see how that is. I have never gone through this game at this point. I think I've gotten to the point where I've opened the hole down, but I don't recognize anything as soon as I jumped into the hole, so we're going completely blind. It's great. And yeah, so everyone's talking about Stardew in chat. If you are on a computer, this is not a console or a mobile ability, but you can have a multiplayer game. You can have yourself and up to 3 friends. You can either start this multiplayer from the beginning, in which case you will automatically have 4 spots on your farm, and you can have like a joint farm for everything. With, of course, everyone as they move in, they'll get their own farm place. Or if you start a single player game, you can actually convert it into a multiplayer game by going to the workshop and getting them to build another cabin on your property. So you can go in and pay 100 gold, and it instantly just builds that, so the person can join immediately. It's pretty cheap, pretty easy to do. So that's what we'll probably do with mine, because I already created a nice little beach area. And then thank you for the gift sub, Tib. Tibian's gifting channel to, or a sub to Switch. Fellow Team Whiskers. So yeah, yeah, the Skyward Sword stuff's going well. Stardew Valley, playing games that start with S, having streams that start with C. I go apparently with the alliteration. Susan will be accepting the bribes if we want to do it. Okay, Shirley did update that consoles do have it. I don't know if mobile does. I don't think it does. It is not crossplay though, so if you want to join the thing, chat with me in the Discord, and then we can figure out who's gonna kind of jump into there. But anyway, sorry, that was a very long rant for what's been going on. So, what have you been up to, Shanny?
A lot of work this week, so I didn't get as much game time as I'd liked, but I did get at least one zone's story done in Elder Scrolls Online.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
On my NA account, because, well, the activity finder there has been on fire.
It's very popular right now.
It's a matter of they had a hardware failure, and it happened right as they launched their big update on PC.
Mm-hmm.
So it took them a little while to figure out, oh, this isn't actually related to the update at
Software.
all.
Yeah. Yeah. An Ethernet port failed. Who knew?
Yeah. Yeah, and on my EU account on Elder Scrolls, I got into the champion points ranking. So I guess I'm kind of at mid game there, so to speak.
Nice.
Nice.
What story? What zone did you complete?
I finished Oridon for the Aldmeri Dominion.
Nice. Do you feel like that ESO allows you, like, during the week, like when you're working a lot, like you can get like does it feel good to like just jump in for like an hour or two when you have like that short amount of time to play and still feel like you're accomplishing something during your week?
Yeah, between the questing and generally speaking, the activity finder is a fairly quick queue. Even as DPS, it's usually no more than 10 minutes to get into a random dungeon. So usually it's pretty good.
Nice.
And honestly, the biggest factor that's been able to allow me to do so is the fact that I can play on controller. I've just had such a big mental block with all the data entry and stuff I do at work. Wanting to play on keyboard is just not happening right now.
Yeah. Understand that.
I can't absolutely get that. It's rough. Absolutely understand that.
I especially like I definitely try to use controller where I can now in most games, except for MMOs. I can't, for some reason I just can't get through the whole thing with MMOs. But yeah,
I feel like ESO is a little more friendly, I think, because of their button system. It's kind of like Guild Wars, where there's not a lot of buttons to use, so it's a little less hectic, I would say.
Yeah, I mean the hotbars are only 6 buttons, so
Yeah. So
Makes it a lot more bearable than something like Final Fantasy, where it's like 18 different combinations in order to hit 36 different buttons. Like,
yeah, I'm gonna have to pick that up eventually because I don't know how much longer this mental block's gonna last, and I do want to get back into Final Fantasy.
yeah.
So
I will have to say that if you take it slow from the start, like, don't jump into a level 90 character and try to map all your buttons, but like go into like a low level character and map a few buttons, then map a few and map a few. Like, it actually works pretty well once you adjust, like if you slowly adjust to it.
Chilling check
Except for
controllers.
healers. I don't trust healing on there because I mained a healer and I just can't.
Susan in chat would like to know how far along you are, Shanty, in Final Fantasy 14. Are you caught up with MSQ?
I am still currently in the previous expansion.
I don't bring her.
Like I said, that mental block has been there for a couple months now, so I haven't made any progress really.
I get it. Totally understand. It happens. Well, let's get into some news, and then we'll interview Shanty. So there was a Switch update recently, so make sure you're on version 14.0, and don't forget to update your Joy-Cons. So
I have to update. Oh shoot, I should do that.
yeah, see. So
Well, thank you for the PSA because I probably need to do that too.
Yeah, probably.
Especially if I'm streaming on it tomorrow.
Yeah. Susan Switch, where her exhaust is, the fan that's there is kind of grinding, and I don't think it sounds great. So I might be updating to the OLED model and then transfer her stuff to my model because mine's fine. So, but hers not, and then I don't want hers to break. It'd be a bummer. Final Fantasy 14 patch 6.1 site has been updated, and live letter 70s on Friday. So we're finally gonna find out what the new adventure journey is. And I want to point out that Yoshi P, the head writer for Endwalker, and the lore writer, and I forget their names, they were all doing an interview with Famitsu recently, and then Yoshi. I know I put it in our Maelstrom, our planning chat, but Yoshi P did confirm that he's like, yeah, Xenos made us adventurers again. And I was like, what? So we're all adventurers. Everyone's an adventurer now. Thanks, Xenos.
I don't think we were ever not adventurers.
Always, no.
We just forgot about it.
No. We thank Xenos. Daddy Yoshi P said so. As he sips wine. Netflix acquires, and this is something. Netflix acquires its third gaming studio, Boss Fight Entertainment. Have you heard about this? You know that Netflix is slowly gobbling up gaming studios?
No, but it is worrisome.
That is worrisome, right? Like, I know that they did the first and Boss Fight games. I know, I believe. But I don't know what they're aiming for. But Boss Fight Games does Dungeon Boss, which is a phone game, and I don't know if they have anything that's not phone related. I don't think so. Yeah, they mainly do Dungeon Boss, and I don't. Yeah, that's it. That's the only game I know that they do. Which I used to play Dungeon Boss back in the day. It was like a good time killer. Like it was kind of like a set your party and kind of forget it sort of game.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not usually like I don't play a whole lot of mobile games.
So it's weird. The question is why, right? Like, what are they aiming for? Because like so far, like, what is it? What's their angle? And I don't know if they're trying to acquire these studios for the rights to create content on their platform. Like, oh hey, Dungeon Boss has like cutesy characters. We can make an animated thing for Netflix. Like, is that the thing, or are they going for we're going to own gaming companies to eventually Netflix break into gaming in some sort of way, or start a new subsidiary that's gaming focused, which, as we all know, has worked for Amazon, and so
To be fair, like Amazon's first party stuff hasn't necessarily been great, but
None of it's worked yet.
some of their non first party stuff isn't too like as a publishing platform, they've been more successful than a game studio.
Yes. Yeah.
That would be a good way to put it.
Yeah. Lost Ark has been good. The communication for Lost Ark was really good. They've already admitted to messing up recently, which was really good. So
now, how much of that was Smilegate versus
that's a great question.
Amazon?
That is a solid question, but I mean, I know that like we've said it before that Red River? No. What's the person's name? They're like the Yoshi P for Lost Ark. I forget like his nickname. Golden River? I think it's a Golden River.
No, that
I don't know. Susan, someone will confirm for us. No, Susan said Golden River. I think it's Golden River. Yo, Moogaround, thank you for the raid. Appreciate it. I'm gonna say Golden River until we confirm. I know that he's really beloved and like a lot of Gold River, haha. So Gold River, not Golden River. So I was close.
Okay, that sounds a lot better.
Oh no, well, so I know that he's well loved and he really just wants the game. He said that I really want the game to succeed in the West. And even is going as far as trying to make the game less profitable on the terms of like they know there's some things that you can do to make it easier to play the game, and they would even like lower the cost or make it easier so people can just play the game, just so that people are happier here and listening to our suggestions. So if Amazon tried to pull something to make it so that people spent more money and he came in and said he put the kibosh on that, it's totally possible. I mean, Amazon, Bezos is going to want to make money somewhere, one way or another, using their game studio. And unfortunately,
have to recoup their losses.
But no, yeah.
I mean, Amazon can be a loss.
I'll be real. I'll be real honest with everybody. I mean, they're going to have to pull some big plays. I mean, if Amazon really, like Amazon Gaming, really wants to make a splash, they're going to have to announce a new world expansion by the end of the year for the following year and have big plans for it to make it say like, hey, we still want to invest and believe in this. So,
and not to mention continue to fix the game.
Yeah, that too. Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's entirely. Listen, I'm not. I never want, like I've said before, I never want to see an MMO die. I think games can be fixed. I mean, look at No Man's Sky, like where it started and where it is now. I mean, that game made a complete, 180 from where it was where it dropped and where it is now. So, I mean,
you could say it even took off.
Yeah, it did. It really did, right into the stratosphere.
Oh,
so, more charity gaming to help Ukraine. Fortnite. I believe all Fortnite bundles are selling and they're raising millions. So far as of March 25th, they've raised $70 million.
Also, no building.
No building, all money for Ukraine. Let's no
building, all donations.
All donations. Building resources, no building in game, building resources for Ukraine. That's got a nice little ring to it. I don't know when Epic's gonna listen to this. But thank you to Fortnite. If you dislike the game, that's fine. If you dislike Epic, that's fine. But they're doing a good thing, and that's a lot of money going to help Ukraine. So
yeah,
good on them. So and also last but not least, I added this. Kirby's taking over Target for the Forgotten Lands release. So Kirby's going full mouthful mode on the iconic red spheres outside of Targets.
I still find that a little bit weird.
That's fine. I think there's
just from Kirby mouth mode taking over things is a little bit odd, but
he could take over a lot.
Yeah.
But it's not nearly the oddest marketing campaign that we've ever seen.
No, no, it's not true.
It's not, but is it for
Nintendo?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no. They've done weirder. They've done some strange stuff.
Have they?
Yeah. Yeah, they have.
I can't think of anything
They've
right
done
now.
they've done some weird stuff.
I mean, I can believe it, but
I mean, what they did some weird marketing when they did Mario versus Rabbids. so,
that's true. That is true.
so
yeah.
and that game succeeded. It's getting a sequel. So I mean, it did what I mean
This year.
this year. Yeah, I had the first one, and I may need to jump into that and see if it's.
Tivia said, I still passionately dislike mouthful mode. And the first thing that my mind went to is like, is that like Hungry Hungry Hippos?
No, that's like French kissing.
It is. But no, also true. But like inexperienced 20 anyways. But it is Hungry Hungry Hippos, isn't it?
Mouthful mode? Hungry. Well,
like mouthful mode is just Kirby trying to eat absolutely everything. Hungry Hungry Hippos is just trying to eat everything.
Yeah.
Mouthful mode is just the evolution of Hungry Hungry Hippos.
But was that Nintendo marketing or Ubisoft? I believe a mix. They both of them, bofa. Because I think to use the Rabbids is Ubisoft, but to use anything that was Nintendo related, they had to work with Nintendo because Nintendo's very picky about their
They are
IPs.
very picky about it.
I'm surprised that game even got made. Like, shocked.
I mean, I can understand it getting made.
Yeah.
But also because I think it's their IP. Like, they're primarily...
Yeah, but they trusted a different company with their characters, though.
I think they've done that before.
They did it with Rare.
It's pretty rare for Nintendo to trust a third party, though.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah.
And when they do, let's be honest. If they do better, like Donkey Kong, they'll come in and swipe it up real quick. They snatch it up and be like, "No, ours now." And the Rare's got like, "Fine, I'll make Diddy Kong. How you like that?"
This yours? No.
No.
This mine.
That's mine now. Mine now. Well, that's it. We've done it. Kirby has taken over everything. We're all in Kirby. We all now live inside the mouth of a Kirby. So that's it.
I really hope that doesn't end up as the episode title.
Probably not. Well, with that, Shanty, welcome to Maelstrom Radio. We want to learn more about you. So, Shanty, with that being said, tell us who you are and where you come from, and we will come find you.
Well,
where did you come from? Where did you go?
I am not Cotton Eye Joe. I'm stopping it right there. So let's see. A brief history of my with MMOs specifically to start. I started initially. I observed friends playing in mucks way back in the early aughts. For those who don't know, multi-user chat kingdoms. So that piqued my interest, and at the time I was playing a lot of Warcraft 3. And then they announced World of Warcraft. So I first tried to start when I was in the army, and let me tell you, on barracks Wi-Fi, that was pretty much a no-go. So,
yeah, that seems reasonable.
Yeah, so I ended up waiting until I was back out of the army in 07, and I ended up starting again in Burning Crusade. Then life happened, got in the way, and I took a very, very long break from MMOs. Before getting back into MMORPGs, I did spend a solid couple years playing Evany, that MMO RTS, pretty hardcore. But my God, the pay to win in that game.
You mean I can buy a stronger thing? Here, take my money.
No, it was more the insidious, oh, here's a chest, but you need to purchase the keys to open it.
The old CSGO strategy. I understand.
Welcome to the loot box.
Yeah, so then I got back into WoW with BFA, and the Old Soldier cinematic just kind of really appealed to me as a vet myself. So I got back in, saw what that was about. Then I went to Final Fantasy XIV last year when I was recovering from kidney stones. and a couple surgeries involved in that. Uh, it was much easier to deal with on painkillers at the low levels. So, you know, you hear the slower GCD and all that. Not really true, but okay. But so I dived in and really enjoyed the uh archer and bard starting area and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So then this past year I started streaming a bit. Initially to stream WoW for a friend who hadn't played since Wrath of the Lich King, and really I was just trying to show her how much the graphics had improved. Um,
Fair.
and and the better designed quest hubs and all that. So that started with that, and then ABK went and ABK'd all over, and I started streaming Final Fantasy 14 instead.
Also fair.
Recently I've also gotten into Elder Scrolls Online, and again the controller has made it easier to play. Hopefully I'll get back to streaming soon. That'll be dependent on work cutting it out with this mandated overtime stuff.
Yeah.
But should hopefully be back to streaming very soon here.
Understood. So you said that, and we talked about it a little bit earlier, that playing with a controller has been helping you a lot because of your day job. Uh, I know that WoW had a mod for controller mode. We know this because Chili used it, because Chili is also a controller player, not good with so much with the mouse and keyboard. Do you feel, because now that Microsoft is purchasing currently ABK, do you feel that, and we know that they've added native controller support in the system, it's just it doesn't have any like UI for it yet. Do you feel that that is going to be something that Blizzard will eventually look at, especially with Microsoft's backing?
I think it might be time for them to start looking at something like that. Because let's face it, a lot of players play Final Fantasy because they can play on controller. They play Elder Scrolls because they can play on controller. So for them to have as big a market share that they have and not offer the same full support, like there it is there, but it's not great. I've seen some streamers try it, and it's janky at best is the way I describe it.
Yeah, I mean, I know Chili's short review of it was that in some aspects it was better than Final Fantasies with certain options, but it was clunky because it was a mod, right? So it didn't work perfectly like Final Fantasies did. And
But he rated with it.
Yeah, and he rated with it. Like, so it was viable. It was not an unviable option. He did rate with it, and he healed. So, so yeah, I think it's something. I know when I used to do the WoW Nightcap, I put out a poll once about controller support and then bringing the game to consoles, and boy, was that a point of contention with a lot of people in the game. Boy, they were so mad. People were like, "Oh no, people will be terrible." I'm like, "It's viable in Final Fantasy." People raid with it like, "Bah." And console, bro. Like, well, now your daddy is Microsoft, and now it can happen. And what are you gonna do then? So,
like Microsoft seems to be, well, first of all, like being Xbox, they do have a strong incentive to offer controller support for everything that they do. So I can definitely see them bringing that in as well. But even aside from that, like Microsoft and Xbox have done a really great job, I think, of improving controller support as well, not only from just offering support for controllers, but also having accessible controllers, right?
Yes.
They have that whole modular controller system so that even if you can't necessarily hold like a traditional controller, you can actually build a controller that kind of works for you with larger buttons or like pedals or whatever that allows more people to play your game. And like, if you're going to build controller support, why not also just build all that in? And can you imagine the audience that would grow for your games, whether it's ESO or WoW or I I guess those are the two main MMOs that they own now.
Isn't it weird to say that they own two of the biggest MMOs currently on the market?
It's weird that they own any MMO, honestly.
I remember the last one they owned. It didn't go well. It did not go well. So.
Yeah. But just having that larger audience and being able to bring that accessibility into it, because traditionally, like you said, like controller support has never been great. It's like some games are pretty good with it, but there's not really like a standard for it. Like I remember playing Final Fantasy on it, you still have a million different buttons. You have to do all these different shift combinations in order to actually hit. I think by default you have 8, 16, 24. I want to say like 28 different buttons that you can hit depending on which triggers and such you go through for your abilities only, like not including anything else. And then with like ESO, you said you had 6 buttons. With Lost Ark, you have 16 buttons. But if you look at the control schemes for each of these, like they're all vastly different too. Like you pick up a mouse and keyboard, you're gonna have WASD is typically your movement. 1 through like 9 or something is gonna be your abilities. It's the same thing over and over. You can go from MMO to MMO, and it's the same setup. You do that with a controller, who knows?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how that kind of progresses, especially between those two games. If they add the controller support into WoW, will they use a similar system to, say, Elder Scrolls?
Yeah, they wouldn't be able to do that without another major pruning of the class abilities, and they just started unpruning them in Shadowlands. So I don't know if that's a direction that they particularly want to go.
I would sooner think they would go the route of Final Fantasy 14 in some aspects, where they have like maybe like a crossbar situation. But at the end of the day, even with some unpruning of things, WoW still has a lot less buttons to press than Final Fantasy 14 overall. So I think that they could probably get away with like less hotbars than you can do like with Final Fantasy 14, where you're just like, all right, I gotta do hotbar 3 to start. So I'm sure overall, like it would be easier to switch between things and really, because like you remember, like crafting's not as involved like it is in Final Fantasy 14. So like crafting,
not nearly.
So like really, it would just be your your movements, and stuff like that. So
as long as they don't go the Lost Ark route, in which case you have to like click L3 and R3 in order to actually do things.
Nope. I hope that is not the case as well. I don't think it would be. So
yeah.
Well, I again, I hope that with accessibility controllers through Microsoft and thing, I hope that it sees some change other than everything else that we want to come with it, like the better, environment for the workers and everything else that comes with that. So we know that you're currently on standstill with Final Fantasy 14, but I know that you're digging pretty good into ESO. So what is it about ESO? Not to compare the two, because I know they are very MMOs, but same theme park MMO. But what is it about ESO that makes it a little more accessible or easy to jump in and out versus Final Fantasy?
There's the fact that the whole world scales to you, so that I don't have to worry about, okay, am I high enough geared for this zone? It's okay, I go here, I do this quest. It's that and the voice acting. Like it's nice to be able to it's nice to be able to hit A and just sit back for a couple minutes while the voice acting goes on for a quest text.
I can say, like, you are still back in Shadowbringers, but when you get to Endwalker, the amount of voice acting in the game increases even more. Like, Endwalker's probably double the length of Shadowbringers in terms of content, and Shadowbringers was pretty intense. So you are definitely going to get a lot more voice acting as you keep going through that.
Yeah.
So, positive.
Is it a positive? Yes. But I agree with Shanty though, because and then Susan even said it like everything
ESO is like
everything is voice acted. Everything is voice acted. And
all the side quests, you have NPCs who, if they have a quest to give to you, will stop and say something along the lines, "Do you know how long I've been looking for you?" or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I've been chased on a road by
Stop,
an NPC.
adventurer.
I did. That has happened to me. Like, literally, I had an NPC run up to me and stop, adventurer. I have a quest for you. I'm like, who are you? Why did you find me on this road?
You look like this traveling, like, I don't know, covered in rags and like, and they're just like, hey, you must be an adventurer. Like, how did you know?
I was like, I just,
Nope.
it might be getting to go get something. I was, yes. Yeah, I remember one time I was just running through like because I was playing a warden, so I had like running through with my bear in ESO, and like this person runs up to me and like, adventurer, I need help. I was like, what is happening? It's like, what is happening?
Wait, you said you were a bear?
No, I had a bear because I was a warden.
Oh, okay. Because I was confused. If you were like turned into a bear and then ran up to you and be like, adventurer, I'd be like,
yeah, I have 2 tanks. First I have the Dragon Knight, which is like the sword and board, and then I have a warden. Once I found out a warden could summon a bear to help it tank, I was like, it's
yeah.
I went the magic tank round. So are you a bear?
Can't remember what I was playing. It was one of the healers, though. I wanted to play one of the healers. If I went back to ESO, if I went back to ESO, I know that I would try the Necromancer this time.
I hear that the Necro Healer is one of the best, especially for the oh crap moments. because one of their ultimates is you can revive up to 3 party members. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah, no, like the last time I played ESO was just before that whole expansion piece came out, so I never got to try Necromancer. I was actually trying to play so I could play that whole new content, and then I just didn't have anyone to play with, so I stopped playing. But yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about Necromancer, so I feel like that would be great.
When I think intense healing, I think of Necromancer.
And going back to the initial question, that's another appeal is the class flexibility. You can you can have up to 4 builds saved with their armory system, and you can have a Magicka DPS, a Stamina DPS, a tank, and a healer all in the same character. Similar.
Oh, so you can actually like respec basically everything?
Yeah, not quite as good as, Final Fantasy, but the fact that you can just change things out as you need.
Yeah. And
that was. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say it plays, and if Tibian's still in chat, because we talked about a little bit about this in our Discord about like how close is it to an Elder Scrolls game. I would say fairly close. Like, I mean, it's still got that MMO aspect of the classes because it's like an Elder Scrolls game. Like, you could just be whatever you want. Where this is a little more focused on, you still have that flexibility. I feel that the Elder Scrolls game, like a mainline Elder Scrolls game, gives you. But in terms of an MMO, which is pretty neat. Like, my warden can also be a magical DPS. It's a tank through and through, like it says it's a tank class, but I have the option of being a magical DPS as well. So,
Tibian in chat is asking if he's going to lose out if he picks the wrong class. There really is no wrong class. Honestly, the only way you lose out if you pick something you don't enjoy.
Yeah,
because it does have all that flexibility.
I think there is that there is definitely a difference. Whereas, like, if you play a class that is primarily a tank and you try to play it like a mage, it's probably going to be weird. Like, if you try to play something that just doesn't make any sense, you might run into more troubles. Like, you can do it, but it might not be as easy as if you played a class that was intended to be the playstyle you wanted.
Well, actually, it's more close to Final Fantasy in that the weapons you use will typically determine what kind of build you're going for. Like, sword and board is specifically for tanks.
Yeah.
And you have restoration staff goes to healers, unsurprisingly. So
like that was definitely one thing that I remember when I played ESO is like before I started my character, like I did all this research to figure out like, do I want to do stamina? Do I want to do magicka? Do I want to do this, that? Like, how do I want to build all this? Because what I was figuring was like, once I decide, yes, I'm going to go with stamina, like I need to build towards that, build up the skills specifically for that, build for that. And if I just figure out later that like I messed up or something, I'd have to basically create a new character instead of Like I have to start over kind of thing.
Well, that's not true. You could always just respec at a Shrine of Mara. So
Yeah. To be fair, I don't even know if I got up to level 10. So my
Okay.
experience in ESO is pretty limited as it is. And I think if I went back now, I would definitely change my playstyle because I did go as a healer. I had my restoration staff. I had something else I can't remember, so I could like not be terrible solo.
Typically, it's the build for a healer is Destro and Resto staffs.
That could probably be what it was. I don't remember exactly what it was because again, I was level 10 and this is like 2 years ago, just before the Necromancer came out. So, yeah, there's definitely a lot of things that have changed. So I would love to jump back in there if there was only more hours in the day. Because yeah, it definitely seems like a good game. The problem, like for me at least, like I am not a fan of the Elder Scrolls series. Like I think it's great. I think a lot of people really enjoy it. It's not my style of game.
Yeah, I really do.
So I would definitely need someone who enjoyed it to kind of go through it with me and be like, yeah.
I am, and I will say I am excited for the new Elder Scrolls game that will eventually come out in like 70 years. So, but I think it's because
You mean Skyrim too?
Maybe.
No, they're probably going somewhere else. Like what's?
Oh man, it starts with the if I remember, like islands.
Like I think I've heard rumors of like High Rock or something like that, but
yes,
I don't know if I'm remembering that right. But
yeah, no, you are correct. You can, High Rock is like one of the next locations, so or the potential next location. So, and
whenever that gets released,
and that's people pulling from like pictures and then pulling up like maps of like Elder Scrolls fans will like pull up a map in a minute and be like, well, based on the trajectory of the like this and like the way the camera moves in and based on this where this city could possibly be like they go too deep.
Yeah.
So with your streaming, I noticed like anytime I could check out a stream, it'd be mostly because I would be lurking because I'm sometimes like working sometimes the days that you did stream. I always caught you playing ESO, and I would say like I think it's always fun to watch people play ESO because in terms like in Final Fantasy, people like watching people for I think a lot of the story reaction they do because they like especially if they're going through the story for the first time. I think in ESO, I enjoy watching people play ESO because unless they already are like at the high end and done everything, then you're watching them for like a specific reason, like they're gonna do a trial or something like that. But somebody going in new, I like it because you're like they always happen upon something, and I'm like, what is that? Like, what are they just like? Because you never know. Like exploration in that game is phenomenal. It's so good. It is up there with like Lost Ark, like except off the map stuff. There's nothing off the map.
Guild Wars.
And honestly, the exploration is rewarding as a gameplay feature too. Between the sky shards, the skill points you can pick up in delves and public dungeons and all that. So going over the map, finding all those side quests, it's a bunch of fun. And like you said, no two ESO streams are ever going to be the same because even if they're just diving in, they may go completely different routes with what side quests they pick up.
And I will say it's one of those games where, and I could see why it's overwhelming, right? Like I think Susan felt very overwhelmed, but then it started to dawn on me. I think if you strip away like because if you have a very structured game or used to structured MMOs, yes, ESO is a theme park, but it's a theme park with a very loose leash. I'm gonna say like it's not like there's a lot of things for you to do, but there's a lot of hands off, right? Where it's
it's a very sandboxy theme park.
Yes. Yeah. Tippy and Chem, I'm very excited for Sky Oblivion. I am as well. When it's closer, we'll talk about it in a news section probably.
In 15 years.
Yeah, 15 years. So, like my favorite thing is always watching people, like I said, explore and find sky shards, and even like the public dungeons are really neat. Like you get quests there, you just go in there for fun, and there's like they're massive, like they're not small. They're like giant like areas that you can go in, and there's people in there trying to like go through and clear out stuff for quests or get gear or whatever the case is. There just seems to be like a lot of attention to detail that ZeniMax puts into the work. Um, with that being said, I know you've also streamed Final Fantasy 14. Do you feel how much do you feel there is a difference? Not necessarily in your style streaming. I think in streaming the two games, how do you feel there's a difference? Like, do you feel like one is a little more fun for you to stream versus the other? Do you feel more comfortable streaming one versus the other?
Um, at the moment, I feel more comfortable with ESO because, again, going back to controller.
Mm.
But honestly, I stream them for a bit different of reasons. The For Final Fantasy, it's enjoying the story of a JRPG with people. Whereas with Elder Scrolls, it's much more about I'm just gonna do this, have some fun, hang out, chill.
I can see that. Yeah.
That kind of makes sense because it's the different way that games kind of play too, right? Like Final Fantasy is definitely like here's your story, do it. ESO is like here's your world.
Do it.
Figure out something. Like
do it. Do it.
it's a lot more open ended, I guess,
Yes.
than Final Fantasy in that sense.
Yes, yes, it is because you can pick up the main story quest in ESO at any point. You could be like 1,500 champion points, so you've done like almost everything, and just
Mhm.
finally start the MSQ there.
Yeah. There's also like all the extra like side content, right? Like there's like the Dark Brotherhood, which is a staple in the Elder Scrolls series, which is a whole like assassins slash I don't know how to explain them. Like they're always up to nefarious things like thieving and but then there's a whole quest line circling them, or you become a vampire or a werewolf in Elder Scrolls. Like there's a lot of neat things that I think that again make it an Elder Scrolls game with an MMO aspect that you don't necessarily get in other MMOs sometimes. So
Yeah, I was a vampire in my playthrough of Oblivion that died because I got bugged into a cave at 113 hours. The NPC in that cave that was supposed to drop the key to get out
no.
did not.
Oh no. I'd be
Yeah,
sad.
it caused a very long grudge against the Elder Scrolls franchise. Like until I picked up ESO, I hadn't touched an Elder Scrolls game since Oblivion. I never played Skyrim.
I get that. I get that. I get that absolutely. Um actually I don't know. Does Guild Wars doesn't allow you to use a controller, right?
Um, Glen Angel has done it, but it was through integrating it through Steam somehow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chili knows those hacks.
Yeah, Chili did use those hacks on it for Crab Game. Uh, Chili pro Steam controller hacker. Chili's just controller hacker, man. That's all he is. Do you so with your comfortability level with leaning towards I think a little more ESO and like you said for different reasons, but like I think I you strike me as like just having a chill time and enjoying some streaming and just enjoying a game. Uh Having to play on controller, I find when I stream and play on controller versus mouse and keyboard, I could focus a little more on the stream. That could just be me. I feel like there's with some mouse and keyboard MMO gaming, I got to focus on like my buttons and pressing them. Where like if I'm playing a controller, but it's also maybe like I feel like if I'm playing a controller based game, I'm not focusing as much. Like if I was like when I did the Kirby demo on Monday, I got like chat because I was just like, all right, this is simple. Like this is very laid back.
Right, it's a lot less on the muscle memory, so to speak. For sorry. So like you said, it's I am not thinking about okay, now I need to hit 2, 4, 3, or whatever your rotation is set up as. It's
Mhm.
okay. XYA, for instance, and
Yeah.
it's just moving your thumb, so it is easier to focus on the stream.
Yeah, makes sense. I don't know. Like, I have a lot of controllers around here, so I could probably make it happen. But I just
Looking at my
moved it,
two
but,
controllers.
like, I have the nope.
Oh, the Steam controller.
I have the Steam controller, and it's over
Yep.
in the living room because that's where the Steam deck is. Not the Steam Deck. They're the little
Link.
the Steam Link.
Yeah.
And the Steam controller was unique.
It's weird.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's definitely unique.
It's aight. It's aight. I mean, I've had better controllers.
It was a cool concept.
It's aight. Yes, that very cool concept, but so we talked a lot about the controllers. Do you feel like MMOs are focusing on accessibility more? Because I know there's a lot of games out there now are thinking about that, right? There's a lot of games thinking about what you just made a face, and I'm not sure if it's something I said or something in chat.
Neither. It's the whole accessibility MMOs. I'm waiting for you to finish and to hear Shantyman's thoughts on this.
Okay, because I'm also curious.
I also have some.
Okay. Do you feel like MMOs are starting? Because I know, like I was saying, I know there's a lot of games out there that are starting to come out with like an accessibility thought, like be it, oh hey, we've added colorblind mode, right? Like things to make things easier. And I know that WoW added a colorblind mode, and I believe Final Fantasy 14 did as well. Correct? I don't use it, so I don't remember. I don't dig into the options.
They do have a colorblind mode.
Yeah.
For Final Fantasy 14.
So.
Yeah, I do think that MMOs are starting to lean into. Maybe we should make the game more accessible to more people. Whether or not it's for good reasons, that's another debate entirely. But yeah, I do feel like, especially in the past 3-4 years or so, we've seen a lot of strides in terms of colorblind modes, controller support, even being able to manipulate the text size in some games, so that if you're having issues reading a smaller font, you can make it larger.
But again, get that, yeah.
But again, whether or not they're doing it for the right reasons, that's another story.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I know games are adding more. I'm happy to see it when it gets added to games. I feel like it's still very much an afterthought, and like even when they add it, it's not really like, it's more of a like we're checking like we're taking off a checkbox of like, hey, we have accessibility modes, but they're not necessarily good accessibility modes. Like look at even like Final Fantasy has some pretty decent accessibility options. It lets you change colors, UI sizes, text sizes. You can readjust the indicators, like controller support. It has a lot of those, but then it creates fights like Shantyman, you're not familiar with this yet, but P3 Pandemonium, the third Pandemonium raid fight in Endwalker, which is a giant like lava fire arena, which is of course red and orange, with a giant flaming phoenix bird, red and orange, with guess what color the ground indicators are for the AoEs? Red.
It's not great.
They're not great when you aren't using accessibility options. Like you can't barely see the orange and red AoE indicators. Like the accessibility options are not great. There's definitely like a disconnect between, hey, we have accessibility options and still building your game to be highly accessible. Like, and same thing too, like, oh, we're making stuff that's high contrast, so we'll make like blue indicators on a red background, not colorblind friendly. Or like green and red indicators, again, not colorblind friendly. Like there's a lot of things like that that games will be like, hey, we're adding accessibility, but then they completely the accessibility is to make it easier for people who don't need the accessibility to access them. Which is, I find that kind of frustrating.
Uh-huh.
Like it's a lot of like, we're trying to do accessibility. We just don't know at all what accessibility means and are talking to people who need that accessibility. Which again, going back to Microsoft here, I think that they have a history of actually involving people with accessibility needs and getting their direct feedback when building these things. So I'm hopeful that like if ESO starts doing more accessibility stuff, if WoW does more accessibility stuff, that they'll kind of bring that mentality into it and be like, okay, as someone who can't use a proper controller or a keyboard or mouse or who is colorblind, how like what would make it easier for you to access this game, to be able to do the things that everyone else is doing? Do we need sound alerts? Do we need better color indicators? What would make it more, or what would make it a better experience for you? Yeah, Cass puts it at direct, like they miss the target and don't actually involve people who need those things within the design of them to test it out.
Mm-hmm.
And Tanner as well. Those who need accessibility often have to make their own software and hardware to be able to play games. Like, yeah, they shouldn't have to.
Yeah.
But the industry as a whole is improving, and
yes,
while it's not there yet, it's good that it's moving in the right direction.
Yeah, and hopefully it is, like you said, like sometimes they're like the reasoning why they do all of this isn't necessarily the best or like the most altruistic, but the fact that everyone is kind of moving in that direction can hopefully get to the point where they start doing it in a more altruistic manner. So it's not just we're doing this to check a box, but it's like, okay, we actually are putting in all these things so that people can play that. And I think as a, like, coming again from a business perspective of like, we want this to make money, we need to kind of reason for this. Like a pretty good reason for this is like, if you make a game that is highly accessible and allows a large number of people to play it, a lot more people will go to that game than the competitors because they can actually play it, right? Like if your options are, I have to hack in this support in order to maybe be able to possibly get some sort of experience, versus it is completely native and I don't have to do a whole lot and it just works for me, that's a competitive advantage over everything else. So like from a business perspective, it even makes sense, even though they're not doing that yet.
Yeah. Womp womp. Sad times.
And like Susan points out as well, like there are streamers out there who have various different accessibility needs, and some of them stream, some of them advocate. There's a lot of them out there, and again, we don't hear a lot about them, especially in different circles and whatnot. But following different people in the industry, both in the games industry and streamers, players, etc., like hearing their opinions, figuring out their needs, and just having a conversation with them really highlights the severe lack of I guess accessibility options that we have available today. And like you said, they are getting better, but they're nowhere near a priority, I guess.
Yeah, Cass said it, improving, but in their opinion, too slowly, which is fair. Like it probably should have started years ago, but it's starting. It's, but at what speed? I think once we see bigger companies start making bigger strides in it, it'll be good to see. I know Microsoft was at GDC and they did a whole panel on Game Pass, right? And how much that's affected their thought on wow, it was perfect timing on the cameras that Quinton put down his drink, but Shantyman picked his up, so it looked like he just passed the drink over. So yeah. So when Microsoft was at GDC talking about Game Pass, they were talking about like, oh, you know, how much Game Pass has started to increase gaming in people's lives, and like how much has started like I think it was like 30% of the players that own Game Pass started playing other genres they don't normally play. So I wonder if they could start using that data to say, how can we start helping people with accessibility through like the game, like start looking at that stuff like, hey, how do we get people that you know that acquire that accessibility in gaming? How can we bring it in so we can start helping them? I think that's going to help. I think that it's good to see Microsoft looking at those numbers, even though it's just based on Game Pass right now, just looking at, but increasing gameplay. And if people are saying, hey, I need accessibility for these games, Microsoft would be the right person to be like, oh, hey, let's start thinking about that. Because if more people are spending 40% more time playing video games and playing, and then a chunk of that is playing different genres, how do we spread that across the genres? Like fighting games are tough, right? Like you usually most people try to get a fight stick, and yeah, that's great. But what if somebody loves Street Fighter but needs an accessibility controller, and you know, and so like so I start to think about that stuff, you know, or if they have to use a foot pedal and you know to help them you know play that game. So so with that being said, like with all the accessibility and controllers out of the way, like where do you see the MMO genre going in the next couple of years? Like do you feel like we're just do you think we're gonna hail the golden age? Like I know a lot of people are saying the golden age is gonna happen again, or the renaissance of MMO gaming is gonna happen. Do you feel we're just gonna be stuck with what we got and hope for the best?
So I think over the next couple years, especially with Final Fantasy 14 evolving, with ESO continuing to do their quarterly releases of DLC and chapters and all that, I think it may start pushing us toward a more enlightened age, so to speak. Don't want to call it a renaissance because honestly, I think we've hit that period, especially once Final Fantasy 14 became A Realm Reborn. Because we all know how bad the game was at launch. Um, so looking at the potential offerings that are coming up, if they include accessibility options, if they include more ways to play that aren't necessarily chained to quest hubs and everything needs to be done in an open world or everything should be done in an open world. If they are able to inject their own flavor into it, I feel like we could be coming up on a very good age for MMOs.
Right on. I know recently even Guild Wars 2 Arena that just said that yeah there's going to be a fourth expansion for Guild Wars because this one did so well and they want to continue to which is great because like when like we didn't know any expansion was happening. I mean they were silent and quiet for so many years. They had no leadership and all of a sudden like they got a leader and all of a sudden there was an expansion and that came out and it was good. So I'm hopeful. Like I would like to see. I would love to see Guild Wars get a maybe a graphical update as well. Like I know their game's aging a little bit. Like so.
Right. And I think one key thing that will be a necessity for us to reach that enlightened age, golden age, whatever you want to call it, is more developers adopting the Final Fantasy 14 or ESO live letter kind of, okay, this is our roadmap. This is what we're looking at. And not only doing that, but taking player feedback from, well, they didn't seem so hot on this idea. Maybe we should retool it and try something different here.
Just kind of being more transparent and open about their processes, not necessarily like here's all the things that we're working on, but like here's kind of a preview of what's coming up. Like how are you kind of feeling about this? Hearing kind of keeping an eye to the ground or an ear to the ground of like players kind of really want to do this sort of stuff. Like let's try that out. And just being very open with that communication and keeping that line open so that people aren't left with like, you know, oh hey, by the way, we're gonna release an expansion in 8 months. Surprise!
Yeah.
And again, tying to the feedback point, it's not you think you do but you don't. Because Blizzard has had a history of just kind of coming out saying things and then even after players give feedback, not really acting on that feedback.
Mhm.
So from what I'm seeing over there, it does look to be looking better, but I feel like they still have a ways to go to learn from other games, which used to be one of their strong suits.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like they definitely have a communication problem, to put it nicely.
A lot. A lot of
I was
communication.
being nice.
I know you were. I know you were. I have every right to not be as nice. So
That's true. You have much more experience with them than I do.
Yes. So, well, Shantyman. They call you Shantyman for a reason.
Why is that?
Well, so I initially chose the name as kind of a nod to the historical Shantyman. They would lead tasks by performing song.
Mhm.
And I kind of chose Shantyman as kind of a nod to that because once I do get more settled into streaming, I do want to start doing more community type things. And, Shantyman is kind of the leader of the people working together.
Okay, yeah.
But I do also write some gaming shanties.
Oh,
Are these supposed to lead things or just?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Oh, sorry. Like, are these supposed to lead things? Like you were talking about, they were the task leaders and such. Like, are these gaming shanties meant to inspire to start things, or just?
These are just more fun and
That's-
me
yeah.
taking two of my passions and melting them together.
Cool.
Well, can we request a shanty?
Yeah, you certainly can.
All right.
So I am going to ask that you join in. So
I've never done a shanty before.
So your lines are real simple. It's gonna be we'll level up Joe.
Sweet.
Okay.
Can do.
All right.
All of them? We are gonna mess this up, just so you know. We've never pulled off something the first time, so
all the will level up Joes. Got it. Can do. Let's go.
All right. When I was just a wee sprout, so my game mom told me, we'll level up, we'll level up Joe. That I should not be grinding mobs, that quests would give best XP. We'll level up, we'll level up Joe. We'll level up, these quests are sacking right up. We'll level up, we'll level up Joe.
I'm with it.
We'll level up, we're bound for the next quest hub. We'll level up, we'll level up Joe. I used to do the starter quest, but now they give gray XP. We'll level up, we'll level up Joe. Now I do the dungeon quest, but pugging drives me crazy. We'll level up, we'll level up Joe. We'll level up, these quests are sacking right up. We'll level up, we'll level up Joe.
Yeah. All right.
The goal. All right, so the full lyrics are going to be in the show notes.
They will.
And yeah, this. Apologies for our not terribly synced or planned.
We probably should have tried it during the pre-show, but
we probably should have.
No.
Wait, we do it live.
Yeah, we do it live.
Yeah,
and
like victory.
Because if we would have gotten it so good, people would have known something was up.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. Do it live.
Yeah, we do it live. Yeah.
Susan would like to make a note that Maelstrom Radio has no future plans of becoming a musical-based podcast.
Yeah. Susan will also note
You
that
could
I can hit the
definitely-
baritone on a good she shanty. She will oh hey.
Hydrate, thank you.
Yeah. Well. Now I just have like 3 more minutes of boat sounds. Just hang out and listen to this for like the next 3 minutes. Just give it like a weird ASMR thing. Yeah, like Peter has sang a few rounds of Wellerman. I like it. See? It's in there. I have a... Unfortunately, I have a good voice for podcasting. I don't get paid enough for radio. And, sorry, you gotta look at my face when I stream. All right, well, we'll stop the boat sounds. I did it. We did it. We sang a thing. We tried.
Not only did you sing a thing, you sang a debut. So
Yeah, look at that.
Ooh.
Debut
Worldwide
song.
first.
Worldwide.
We finally did a worldwide first.
Finally. 187 episodes in. Worldwide first.
Oh, I got 2.
You got 2 worldwides?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Well,
Because we came up with a new song for the Songbirds, and I got to hear the debut of that as well.
Yeah. Well, look at that. Moving up in the
2 worldwide firsts on the show. Actually, that wasn't on the show. That was post show. But
You know what we deserve?
oh no,
we deserve burger nuggets.
not what I was expecting, but also not surprising.
I mean, did you want something else?
No, but I knew it was coming regardless.
Well, Shantyman, thank you for coming on Maelstrom Radio. Can you let everybody know where they can find you one more time?
all right, you can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok, all at Shantymangaming.
Awesome.
That makes it really easy to find you.
Makes it so easy.
Consistent branding. It's you got to do it.
It's true.
Yep. Unless people steal your name, in which case,
and then play a game you don't really believe in playing. So whoever has Maelstrom Rad _ TTV.
well, I wasn't even thinking of that. We still don't have our Twitter handle.
That's true. That person just. I wonder if we can petition.
Stream
for
Elements
that.
pops out immediately as I say that. Like, hey, you can follow us on Twitter. It's not our typical branding.
Yeah. I wonder if we can petition for that one. That's a discussion. I'm sure. It's the other one only has 1 follower and they haven't tweeted in like 8 years. Well, like that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shanty. I appreciate it. Hopefully next time we have you come on, we find out where your journey has taken you in Final Fantasy 14, where you are in ESO, and maybe what new MMOs are out there. We can talk about those, and hopefully all accessible and controller ready.
And maybe we'll get better at shanties.
Well, I'm not promising.
Or coordinating Discord shanties.
We can try. We can do one of those things. You can rather coordinate them or get better at them. We can only choose one. So
coordinate. I'll choose that one.
Okay. So with that being said, Sunday streams with Quinton are a thing now. That's right. Sunday morning.
No, if they finish tomorrow. If I do tomorrow, they'll become a thing.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what it says.
So keep an eye out to see if it happens tomorrow. If it happens tomorrow, they will be a thing.
Oh,
officially.
So I'm gonna tell you all: send out your energy, like Goku summoning a spirit bomb, and then he might appear.
Not Goku.
No.
No, that's the Chili does the Goku stuff.
Send out your cozy stream vibes and see if Quinton just appears with like coffee.
There you go.
All right, or tea.
I just don't say my name 3 times in the mirror. I will not appear.
No shrimpin. Shrimpin 80s. Thank you, Tanner F. Thank you for that. I don't. If it took us all the way to that, that's a good show title, Susan. I know you're already on it. Thank you, appreciate it. Monday streams with me are still a thing, so show up on Monday, and there will be a stream, and I will be there.
Mm-hmm.
On Thursday, March 31st, myself and Quinton begin an epic adventure with Paul and Chili of Mulgo-Round Radio into Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, 2 a.m. BST. They hit a time change, so there was a moment where they were still a small brief window where everything was 1 hour earlier for them, but
now it is British summertime.
Yeah, it is now British summertime. And with that, when we reach 777 followers, there will be a Kigurumi stream. It won't be in the summer. It's so hot. It gets so hot in my room. It's just no one's gonna like that. We want to do it right. So
we're getting closer. We're at 630 followers.
We're almost there.
So here we'll spicy it.
Get it? We'll make it spicy.
No. Sweeten the pot. That's the one I was going for. Sweeten the pot.
This is how they're like, you want to do a spicy Kigurumi stream? I'm like, all right.
We'll sweeten the pot here. We're at 630 followers. So when we hit 666 followers, we'll do something else. I don't know what that is yet because I do need to get permission from Susan and Peter.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll do something at 666.
All right.
So we're 36 followers away from that. Hot tub stream? No.
Mm-mm.
just no.
Susan's like, ooh, because that would mean we had to get a hot tub. Yeah. I don't know. I was worried for a second when you thought like spicy Kigurumi stream. I was like, I don't know. Like, guess
no.
See what
that was Maelstrom Radio after dark.
Yeah. Like, see what's under the Snorlax Kigu. Shorts.
Kigu in the hot tub.
Oh yeah, that's right.
With boat sounds
and shanties.
Bikini on top of the outfit. Okay, anyways, before this goes, 666, we will do something. Maybe we'll finally make Peter beat Hades. Maybe we'll have a 1v1 Hades competition. I don't know. We'll figure out what that's going to be. But we are 36 followers away from that, and we are 147 away. I was doing math from hitting our Kigu stream goals. So
math.
Well,
share with your friends.
Well,
with that being said,
thank you one more time to Shanty. Thank you to Quinton and Susan. As always, till sea swallows all. Keep listening.
Maelstrom Radio is brought to you by maelstromradio.com and Blackfire Media. Produced by Flatus, Shintir, and Susan Sprinkle. Join us live Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/maelstromradio. Send email to show@maelstromradio.com, tweet us at maelstrom_radio, or join our Discord at maelstromradio.com/discord. Views and opinions expressed by our hosts and guests do not reflect the views and opinions of any companies discussed on today's show.
Hi everybody. We're gonna raid somebody really quick. So everybody, hope you're all here still. So if you give me a second, clicking the button. My Twitch does a thing, and I don't know why it does this, but if you don't refresh the page, it does not update the raid channels to current ones. So yeah, it's not. She's offline. So change of plans. We're going to raid. You know what? let's I'm pulling a lateral. We're doing this. Blop. Bop. Pull the lateral. You're gonna go say hi to Jesse Cox. So say hi to a lovely gentleman by the name of Jesse Cox. So thank you everybody. Drop all your Mortimers in chat and bye.